Well, welcome back to the Don Bullock Morning Show. We're good to have you. Greg Purcell, Wes Day. Greg, of course, is the curator over at the Dunn Center, and he's going to be talking. Wes Day is a member of the Blue Man
Group.
Blue Man Group, and if you've ever been to Vegas and everything, you've seen him. I was telling them about the time I had my daughter out there, and after the show, after the toilet paper, when I'm hugged my daughter, and I can understand that because she's like her mother, very attractive. But she was blue.
Yeah.
I mean, she was truly blue.
So she
Greg,
had a little souvenir.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and Greg is standing up.
I know, right?
Greg is standing up, and so I'm gonna turn it over to you two about what's going on tonight and what's going on in the activities, because there are many that enjoy art, and we certainly have a bastion of good opportunities.
Yeah, so, we've talked about a little bit the last time I was on how we had gotten a grant from the MEMS Foundation, and we were able to redo the MEMS Gallery, and it turned out so beautiful. And tonight actually is the official rededication of that space. We got new lighting, and we painted the walls, very nice, beautiful sage green, and we have some permanent install artwork by local artist Jan Valls, and we've just really kind of expanded what we're doing out there. So there's the dedication of that tonight, and then of course we have a new art show opening tonight with the artwork of this gentleman here, Wes Day, who, like he said, is a member of Blue Man. I've got a couple of examples. So this is one, and I'll have Wes kind of talk about it a little bit. This is one of his spin art pieces that he does.
Yeah.
And he can talk about it.
And this is for sale, correct?
Yes. All the artwork is going to be for sale tonight.
Yeah. So I'm a Blue Man, and I've been in the Blue Man Group performance for over 25 years. And during the pandemic, when everything came to a screeching halt, I felt a little bit lost. And
all of us, actually.
Like all of us did, yeah. And I kind of went to Instagram and saw some artists that I was heavily influenced by, and I wanted to make some paintings and share the color and share, creativity online with others. So I started making spin paintings online, and then I wanted to go a little bit deeper. I was happy with doing this. This was really fun, but these are acrylics, and it's really beautiful. And I wanted to study painting further. So I applied to the school of Bob Ross. There's a school in Muncie, Indiana that I went to, and they teach you how to make paintings just like Bob Ross. And interestingly enough, the philosophies between Blue Man Group and Bob Ross are really, really aligned. Bob Ross and Blue Man Group, they sort of prioritize the joy that you receive from creating the art rather than the technical perfection, or rather than a means to an end. The joy that we get just from creating, or just doing even when we make a puzzle, that's a fun, there's a satisfaction that we get after we're finished. And it's that feeling that Blue Man Group and Bob Ross want to promote. We're all creative beings. We all, right now we're presenting a story to an audience, and we're all storytellers. And we just want to promote for you to follow your inspiration, follow your bliss.
And I think you're saying there's 60-some here tonight?
Yeah, when I counted last night, I finished hanging the show last night, and I think there was 55 pieces that are up and for sale. And the beauty of they're all for sale. So, we've been talking about in the fall how fortunate we are to be able to have the Bob Ross show that we're having, fantastic little paintings. So that will actually be full on. You saw Bob Ross paint them on the PBS all those years ago. Those are not going to be for sale. So if you want something that is Bob Ross influenced and painted by somebody who is actually a certified Bob Ross instructor, Wes is one of those, and that piece that you just saw, which I'll hold up one more time for you, this piece right here is one that is available for sale tonight and throughout the run of the exhibit. So if there's, if you want a Bob Ross style painting, now's your chance to be able to buy one leading up to our Ross exhibit that's happening in November and December.
It's a really, really, really fun show. There's some beautiful Bob Ross paintings. There's some colorful spin art.
Oh, the spin art,
and they're
just
priced,
stunning.
They're priced so that anyone can afford it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got everything from 9x12s all the way up to 30x30s. So any wall space that you have will work just fine for it. And everything is extremely colorful and bright and vivacious, and every one of them, whether it's the landscapes of Bob Ross with little cabins, and like I was looking at them and I actually could hear Bob Ross. He has this one landscape with the mountains. It's a winter scene, and I think it's 18x24, and it sits horizontally. And there's a little cabin down in the corner, and I've watched so many Bob Ross episodes, especially recently because I've started rewatching all of the Joy paintings, so I can really kind of understand him more again. And I just heard him say, well, we've got this beautiful scene. Let's make a house for a little man to live here. And I'm hearing, Bob Ross just talking like this, and I'm seeing Wes paint it in my mind, and it just tells this story. And that's the beauty, like Wes was saying, it tells stories and to live our bliss, and just we're not here all that long in the grand scheme of things, so enjoy it while you can. And this is a wonderful way to be able to enjoy something and to support art.
Like Greg was saying, I think following your bliss and following your inspiration, it's all about art positivity.
Yes.
And making art just for the feeling that you get from making it is all about Bob Ross's themes. And
well, you're right. I'm not much of a, I have difficulty cutting on the radio for my music.
Yeah.
But I remember in the 8th grade, Miss Lanier, they had a paint-off, and for some unknown reason, I won the thing.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was I still remember the scene. It was a Christmas scene with snow and everything. And I'm not an artist, or I was for a day. I was for a day, but I can still remember that.
Yeah.
Isn't that, so it must have had an impact on me.
Yeah.
To have created something that others said, "Holy smoke, that's pretty good for an 8th grader."
That's great.
That is one of the things about art is the creativity, the affirmation you can get from it when somebody else appreciates what you have created and put out into the world, whether it's singing or the visual arts or the Blue Man stuff that Wes and I have both been a part of. Him for much longer. I only did it for a couple years and did props, so I wasn't painted up blue, but it was still fun to be part of, and to see the reactions you get, and the audiences are the same type of reactions that you see when people look at the visual arts, and it's so important, the music education that are in the schools, the visual arts education that are in the schools,
that
all
aren't being funded like they should.
They're not, and they really need to be, because honestly, it's truly
creativity is so good.
It is, and everybody loves. You talked about turn on the radio a minute ago, right? So think about your Dave Matthews Band. They have your saxophone players and different stuff, and maybe one of the more famous saxophonist was with Bruce Springsteen for all those years. Everybody knew about Clarence, right? Who unfortunately has passed. But he didn't learn that instrument on his own, I don't think. So he could have. He was probably a very smart man. I didn't know him, but the point of it is there was music education in the schools, and that transcends. And although when you're in the marching band or you're in the band in the high schools and you're getting picked on and you're the band nerd, 10 years later, when you're making all that money because you're traveling with Dave Matthews
Yeah.
or whatever. You're not that band nerd anymore. You're the I went to school with you guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
well,
Absolutely.
It's so true. Funding for the arts is so important. I mean, a lot of times when I was younger, I used to think musicians just fell out of the sky. They just knew how to play music from day one, and that's not true. In the immortal words of Bob Ross, talent is a pursued passion.
Yes.
And if we don't give kids, and if we don't give younger folks the highway to sort of drive down a road and pursue that passion, if we don't create the means for them to have their talents, what's the word? Cultivated.
Cultivated,
If we don't
yeah.
give them a highway to cultivate their talents,
and support and endorse
and support it, yeah, then we're going to lose that creative passion and that drive that people are just instinctively born with.
Absolutely. Well, my claim to fame. I went to New York City. I was in my room. I was going to take a nap before my meetings, and I started getting these phone calls.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and they were all women.
All right.
And I couldn't figure this out. And they said, "Are you Roger Taylor?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Yes." And I said, "But I think you got the wrong one. I'm from Nash County, North Carolina." And they thought I was Roger Taylor, drummer for Duran Duran, who went to Queens.
That's right.
And then, not long after that, I come into Vegas and I go in, there's a big sign, "Welcome, Roger Taylor."
That's hilarious.
I
love
said,
it.
holy smoly, that's my claim to fame
There you go.
You should
in my
carry-
musical
you should have
talent.
carried some drums around with you, or at least just a drum.
But
and
I
like,
couldn't
let me
figure
put
it
the
out.
gear away.
But as soon as I told them I was from Nash County, I didn't get
Any more calls?
Yeah, right. Got the wrong Roger.
Well, hey, look, just to help, with the Dunn Center, we do have a couple of things coming up on the 31st of March. Actually, it's going to be a really great night. The Troc Orchestra is going to be performing, doing their Genes and Classics with the music of Queen. So it's going to be the band in the back, the orchestra, and I think the choir even. That's what I've been hearing. I haven't gotten all the details yet. And then a front band like they had for last year. So that's happening. Tickets are available, so you can reach out to the orchestra for your tickets for that. And then later on in the summer, for those of you who like the music of the Eagles, we have the band. Who did I say? I'm blanking right now. It was On the Border. On the Border.
Yeah.
On the Border's coming back out of Charlotte. One of the best Eagles tribute bands out there. They're coming in, I think it's June, and you can call the Dunn Center box office for your tickets, or just go to thedunncenter.com and get your tickets there too. So a couple of really nice things coming up musically in the near future, and then we've got a great season planned for next year, and at some point Sheila Martin will come on, I'm sure.
I saw
to talk
Sheila,
about
and she's
that.
back up in Adam.
She is, yeah.
I told her, I said, we've talked about you quite a bit in a favorable way.
Yeah.
And it's so good because she had a pretty bad injury.
She did, but she's walking around like a champ, like
Yeah.
nothing ever happened.
Well,
So
we're happy
we're
for
glad
that.
she's back. We missed her.
Well, also when the Tar River Orchestra comes on, they're pretty darn good too.
They're really,
Really
good. We
good.
are so
Really
we are
good.
so lucky. Some of those guys are
In
actually
a town like Rocky Mount,
Yep.
I mean, and I'm talking about size.
yeah.
Dan Crocker and the group that has done that, it's amazing at the talent. It is absolutely amazing.
What he's done is amazing, and some of those guys in that orchestra are actually also in the state orchestra.
Yeah, they're
So,
good. They're good.
Lots and lots of talent. So
Well, I got the old break sign of West Day. Greg Purcell,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
the opening tonight is from 5 to 7 p.m. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on, a couple of little surprises that we don't normally have at our openings. So you have to come and see it. We'll have some good food and some fellowship, and the opportunity to meet Wes and see the brand new space and all this amazing art that you can buy. We want to sell all 55 pieces. Set a record for the gallery. Let's do it. You can help us out.
And we appreciate you being on because Wesleyan University provides an opportunity for art that many towns of our size does not have.
It's true.
Like the Tar River Orchestra and the entertainment that they provide for children or
Yeah.
adults
Yeah.
or they blend it 4 or 5 different ways. But with that, we appreciate their hospitality of being here. We invite you out tonight at the Dunn Center and the rededication of the Mims Gallery,
Absolutely.
which is, as I say, very, very nice. But with that, we will take a break and come back with our pharmacist that will tell us things about your health.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.